Hey there, fanboys and fangirls. This is your host, The Other Luke, and joining me as always,
The other host.
Sherlock Colvin.
And Lord Skywalker.
and there is a disturbance in the force.
I was going to say there was an awakening.
It's already woken. It's hitting the snooze button.
The Force needs 5 more minutes.
The force needs 5 more minutes. Actually, apparently Rogue One needed 5 more minutes with all those reshoots.
And they got it.
And yet Episode 8 is already done. What's going on, people?
Woo!
Anyway, let's not get crazy now. We're going to get angry. Let's at least focus the anger. Like at that poster they released.
Whoa.
Is anyone
Alright.
else not impressed by the poster, or am I just the only one?
The poster for Rogue One?
For Rogue
Yeah.
One, yes.
Okay, I'm stupid. I haven't seen this. It's Celebration
Whoa.
Europe.
Yeah, bro. Celebration Europe. We're going to first jump into Rogue One. While you look that movie poster up, how about the behind the scenes?
Behind the scenes is pretty
footage
cool.
of Rogue One that we got.
I enjoy, a lot of people were arguing and upset that we got a little behind the scenes little sizzle reel over a trailer, but the film's coming out this year in December. It's July. We don't have that much longer to wait. Why not see something cool about how they're going hard and they're doing it like they did the old movies with a lot of practical effects?
I like that. Practical.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Don't get me wrong, CG's cool and all.
Right. You just got to have the the blend.
Yeah. I think we'll
Well,
get
here-
that with Rogue One.
Well, here's the thing. We already know how it's going to end. It ends reportedly 10 minutes before Episode 4.
Spoiler alert.
Well, it's not going to be a spoiler. it's a prequel. We know how it's going to go.
Kind of. We kind of know how it's going to go.
Speculation is heavy, but it's just like...
Well, one thing I'm just confused about is, I guess, I'm sure there's probably an obvious answer, and I may not have just seen it, but in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, are we... I'll have to go back, I guess, and look at how the progress was on the Death Star in Revenge of the Sith versus to what it looks like in Rogue One, because I want to say they already had the centerpiece installed in Revenge of the Sith. They show the frame when Vader walked up to the bridge and Tarkin was there.
They upgraded.
I want to say the centerpiece where the beam comes out of was already installed into the main frame of the Death Star.
I'm Googling it now.
But in Rogue One, it shows them placing it back in there. Now, did someone put the lid on the jar wrong and we had to take it back out and reseal it or something? I mean, what's going on?
I mean, all these independent contractors that the Empire hires aren't always reliable. Let's be honest.
They're building the biggest weapon in the galaxy.
They're trying to make space great again.
So sometimes they have
Maybe-
to take parts off and then put them back on again.
Maybe something broke, and then they were like, that's not going to work. We need to fix it. And they took it apart. Bam, bam, bang. Bada bing, bada
Well,
boom.
it is the government, so they do take a long time to do stuff.
Alright, I'm
Yeah.
looking at the picture now, and they didn't have the entire piece on, they had a frame for it.
Okay,
So it
yeah.
still does abide by canon.
Yeah, they've got a piece down there, but there's hole. It kind of looks like the trap that you put in a sink.
Oh.
It's a drain. They,
Yeah.
they hadn't put the Drano in yet.
It's
They
the
need to
drain
clean
style.
It's the final piece of the puzzle. You can't have a space station without a super weapon.
You think it's a weapon? It's a weapon and a satellite dish. That's how they get all their TV.
That's true. But it is not a moon. Do not confuse it with a moon.
No
That's no moon. That's
Just a really big
space
buzz
station.
droid.
So did you get a chance to look at that poster?
Is it the one where it's got the characters from Force Awakens and
No,
Rogue
bro.
One?
No. It's the Death Star in a blue sky, and there's people on the beach.
Think Saving Private Ryan, but more tropical beach and Star Wars.
This scene looks great in the BTS that we get, and in the trailers, it all looks good on screen, but there's just something about this poster that just it looks rushed.
It's definitely they kind of had to throw this together really quickly. I see it as it's definitely okay, we need something. What's the big pivotal point of this movie? I'm assuming it's this big thing on the beach.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting, but just like I would have like okay, like even the poster they released at the Disney convention for prior to Force Awakens, it was drawn by Drew Struzan. You know, I feel like they still need to. You're still at a point where you need to make bold, like, appearances with this kind of stuff, and this just seems like your generic kind of movie poster.
This was not celebration material.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, as far as Rebels goes, there was a lot of awesome stuff coming. But I mean, I will agree with some of the angry fans out there about not having enough Rogue One content. But me, I'm satisfied just because Rogue One is coming out this year, like in 6 months, like under 6 months now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that in itself has me pumped up enough. I kind of don't want to see more about Rogue One. I've kind of seen all I want to see, and I want the rest to just be, in a whole new story.
I'm sure they still have some surprises lined up.
Right. And Episode 8's already finished filming, and it doesn't come out till next year. So,
Ooh.
It's probably one of those things where it's just like they have so much that they're trying to work on and complete at once that it's just like, oh crap, we need something for Celebration.
yeah. I understand. Like, they have some dope, they have a dope photographer on set. I can't remember her name, the lady who did the Vanity Fair cover photo for them.
Oh, Leibowitz?
That you could have easily gotten a shot anywhere on set during a take. That would have been a beautiful image for a poster that people would have loved more than this thing. I mean, I like the image. I don't know. It just looks like the troopers and the rebels were just kind of like copy and pasted there.
Well, you know what they should have done? You remember when Force Awakens, I can't remember if this was like at Celebration or a con, or if this is just part of the regular marketing, but you remember the character posters where it had, like, there was one of Han Solo, he was holding his blaster, Rey had her staff, Kylo had his... Yeah. Well, seriously, it's like they should have done character posters, or at least done a shot of Felicity Jones' character.
Yeah.
This to me feels like a Star Wars Battlefront poster.
That's what I thought.
It looks like a video game. Yes.
Which I kind of like it.
I don't hate it. I've seen worse
Yeah.
movie posters.
Right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the poster itself. It's just the quality of the poster.
It's a little underwhelming.
Yeah, and this is what I feared when it came to this, because Disney, they dropped a big, huge chunk of change for these films, and we're used to, let's go with the original fans. We're kind of going to go off on a little sidecar, real quick. But you got the original fans. They had 3 years in between the movies. You literally had to stay glued to, whether it was a newspaper, radio, or television, if you wanted to hear anything about the movie. And then once you hear it, or if you missed it, well, to luck, you couldn't go back and listen to it again.
Did you say too luck?
To luck. I guess I did. Is it bad luck?
It's the Scott Pilgrim thing.
I was going to say
too bad and bad luck, and you put them together.
Too luck. Too luck, yo. All right.
I gotta go pee.
Bad
I gotta
luck.
pee on.
But yeah, so they are going through, and just imagine the patience that they had to. Just think back to Fanboys, how they were in the movie, because they were wanting to see Episode 1. Just imagine
the movie sucks.
Right, all that time that they were waiting for the movies, speculation, all this other stuff, and then the movies came out, and then you had 3 years in between each of them. Well, once Revenge came out, we thought it was done. We hear we're getting a new one, everyone's excited. Then we hear we're getting 4 more every year from that. I mean, the fanboy in me is like, this is awesome. I'm going to go broke, though. And the filmmaker side of me is like, all right, they're going to be pushing out this stuff really fast. I mean, I know they're going to have some of the best people working on their team, but just like Jackson on The Hobbit, he didn't get enough time, and it showed in the end product. Now, The Hobbit
that was also shitty studio treatment, and their director walked out.
See, exactly, and he wasn't given a fair shot, but that's a whole other story another day. But you get what I'm saying? How?
Here's my thing. Marvel's done it, and it's the same studio. And just specifically with this poster, let's just say, okay, this isn't the worst poster ever, but it's not a great poster. You know what had a really terrible poster, but it had no reflection over the quality of the movie was the big like tower or pyramid of people poster that they had for Ant-Man last year, the blue one. It looked like it was really cheap and thrown together. It's one of the worst posters I've ever seen. The movie's great.
Hmm.
It's just one of those things where I blame this. I think this is just a bad calculation on marketing's part. And
Yeah.
frankly, I'd rather them have they rather have a slip up on the marketing end than the movie end. Obviously,
Yeah.
they're going back and doing shoots there, or they've done reshoots. They are correcting errors or course correcting in the ways that they need to. I mean, it's just like I completely understand the hesitation with it, or kind of being a little jarred or scared, but I trust them. You know, they've been planning this for a while, and even then, they're still willing to course correct later in the game. I think this is just one of those things where it's like they're so focused on the movie itself that it's like when Celebration came along, it's like we'll show some B-roll, and oh crap, we do need a poster. Well, take a couple shots from the trailer and make a poster.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any doubt that the movie's not going to be good. I'm just hoping, like you said, this is just kind of a they needed last minute thing because things like that happen. But again, it's Celebration. But I guess enough on that. We've got a good bit more of a news to talk about as far as Celebration goes. So who here has played the Force Unleashed games?
Me.
Me.
Many times.
Many times. Awesome. So that is 4 yeses. So everyone remember Coda?
General Ram Kota.
Yes.
Yes.
The badass blind Jedi. I feel like since the Force Unleashed games are no longer canon, and they're still pulling from the old stuff, even if they're not directly using it, kind of like, with the Starkiller base. We had a Starkiller person, well now we just have a Starkiller base. It's kind of like with Coda, I kind of think they're using some of his attributes with Kanan and Rebels.
You think so?
Yeah, I
can
mean,
see
just his from how he looked at the end of season 2.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, yeah. Spoiler. At the end of season 2, his eyes were wrapped up, and it kind of just I reminisced of the Force Unleashed and Coda, and then with this new trailer, again, spoilers. He has a new. I'm kind of excited to see the new figure come out because he has like this new. It looks kind of like a blast shield, but just like a visor that goes over. So I'm pretty excited to see where his character is going to go because I really liked Coda and how someone that's completely blind and they're lacking a sense that everyone else is using, they get powered up in the Force, and it's just like in Rogue One. I can't remember the guy's name, but there's a blind gentleman in.
Oh,
Rogue One.
Ipman. The guy from Ipman is playing.
Yeah. So
I was gonna say it's almost like he's the Matt Murdock of the Star Wars universe.
yeah. So I don't know. I wanted to see what y'all thought about that. If y'all saw any similarities between Coda and Kanan, or if I'm just being crazy.
We, of course, are talking about the Season 3 trailer for Star Wars Rebels that was shown at Celebration.
Yes. If I did not mention that,
You didn't.
apologies.
On top of that, yeah, I agree. There is some similarities between Ram Koda and I guess what they're going to do here with Kanan and how he's going to teach Ezra and how it's affecting him. I think what's bigger news is Thrawn is now
Yeah.
officially
That
Star
was-
Wars canon.
Yeah, a lot of people love that.
Yeah.
I think that was probably for the entire fan base as a whole. I think that was probably the key takeaway that everyone loved the most, just from what I could tell.
To be honest, I don't know who Thrawn is.
Oh my God!
I don't.
I
I
remember
am against the
all of
EU
them.
like crazy.
I remember reading Heir to the Empire and that whole series, and Thrawn is an amazing character, and I cannot wait to see them actually do something with him finally. I have the
I need-
books. You're gonna read
yeah.
them, Sean.
Yeah, I actually picked up at this used bookstore. It's for the old canon.
Legend.
Legends.
It's Legend.
But it had some on him, so I kind of wanted to go back and I guess read what used to be canon, and then rewatch the trailer for Rebels, kind of pick that apart with from a new angle, and then kind of see where they're going to take it. Having the backstory of what it originally was, and see how much they're going to keep to that story.
Mike, with the books you mentioned, is that part of the Thrawn trilogy?
Yeah, the Heir to the Empire. I can't remember the names of the other two off the top of my head, but it started with Heir to the Empire. It was set I think it was 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
See, I've heard. I used to do another podcast with guys who were like they grew up with the original movies when they came out, and it was around the time we were discussing the whole EU being dumped, and they're the ones who told me it's like, look, a lot of this is crap, but there's a handful of things that are great, like the Thrawn trilogy is like one of the high-ranking ones, Shadows of the Empire, a few other things like that, Mara Jade as a character, like a lot of things were mentioned, but I'm glad that it seems like one of the big prominent things from the EU that the fans love is working its way back into the canon in a way that makes sense. So
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to do my research on this character because honestly, the only books from Legends that I read were Shadows of the Empire and Death Troopers.
Yeah,
Those were the only two I
that was
read.
Death Troopers,
Death Troopers was
So
really
good.
good. Yeah,
so good.
because I've been curious about that one.
think zombies in space with Han Solo and Chewbacca.
Yeah.
Wait, it's Han and Chewie are in it?
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
Spoiler alert!
Yeah, I've always wanted to kind of do like a fan film of this, like a little short film of zombie troopers. There was that. Remember that the first celebration we went to, there was a Death Trooper.
Mhm.
That was probably one of the sickest Stormtrooper cosplays the entire celebration.
Dude,
was
do it
that
like
Death
Dead
Trooper.
Space. Make it creepy as hell.
And
And
it's set in a prison.
And a prison barge
Oh my
that's
God.
just dead.
Yeah, Han and Chewie are on a prison barge that's been
I have the
contaminated.
yeah. If you can get the audiobook is how I listen to it because the sound design, the music.
There's effects
Boy.
and music in it?
Yes, it is like a dramatization. Yeah, it is so good, so good.
That's how I'm gonna do it. Oh my god, yeah, because I just reread Shadows of the Empire. Actually, I realized I hadn't finished it before, but I've been kind of looking into going into some of the classic canon or former canon stuff and just seeing what I like and what I don't like, kind of sampling everything. But now Thrawn and Death Troopers are gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured whenever they bought it that Death Troopers probably wouldn't have stayed canon, but there's just so much of it that I want it to be real. Like I want them to start doing, like if they really want to milk the Star Wars franchise, then make horror films, make like the found footage type stuff. Imagine like watching a found footage from like recordings from something like a smuggler's log. Like you just go through like the cameras on his ship, and you've got this awesome ship, but you've got this story going on in the Star Wars universe.
With the Star Wars story series that they seem to be doing with these, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, especially given how big like zombies are in the market nowadays with like The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead and just zombie games in general. I wouldn't be surprised. They'd be dumb not to do something with it.
Right.
Especially if they can find a way where it actually works.
Yeah, and zombies feels like, Walking Dead pretty much right now seems like the only franchise keeping zombies afloat. Kind of like the stream of vampires, I guess you could say. But that's just my personal opinion.
Well, while we're on the subject of novels, something that Sean's probably extremely excited about, an Ahsoka novel.
Yes, we're getting an Ahsoka novel. I honestly don't know much about it. But all I read was Ahsoka novel coming soon. Definitely going to be picking that one up and reading that one.
Does it say when it takes place?
It's
I think it's between 3 and 4.
it's in the
Nice.
period of time after she left the Jedi Order and before she became an operative in the rebellion.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
That's cool.
Yeah, so we'll definitely once that comes out, we'll have a review on that up. Because we're going to start doing reviews on some of these book series because there's a lot of good stuff coming in the future. And along with Sean, just we kind of, even though we weren't children per se, whenever Clone Wars started, like we were coming out of high school. Yeah, probably coming out of high school.
It
Whenever
was
Clone Wars.
2008,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you were out.
Yeah, I
already.
just graduated. But we watched the show every season, season after season, like waiting for it, and then going to that first celebration and seeing some of the extra stuff behind it. It was pretty cool. So it's nice,
It's cool because that was all the Star Wars we were getting.
right?
We weren't getting anything. I mean, besides the games and
And now it's nice that they're a character that they've created in the show is grown so much that it's now part of a whole new generation of characters.
yeah.
It's all coming full circle.
Yeah,
We're still talking about books. There was a book that was released right before Episode 7, called Dark Disciple. It was a this Jedi's name's leaving me. It was an Asajj Ventress and a God, I can't believe I'm blanking out on this guy's name. He was in a few episodes of the Clone War. He had the yellow tattoo across his face. Hey, is that ringing any bells?
I can't help you. I'd still need to finish
remember.
Clone Wars.
He was with Obi-Wan.
I know exactly who you're talking about. I can't remember though.
This is bothering me.
no,
Don't look it up. I'll think about it. Anyway, it's set in between the Clone Wars, or obviously Clone Wars and Episode 3. But he goes undercover. I forget the reason why, but he goes undercover and partners up with Asajj Ventress, and they end up teaming up together to assassinate someone. And he got pushed to the edge, and he ends up falling in love with Asajj Ventress. And spoiler alert, no, I'm going to say that because I think you guys should read it because it's a really good book. Quinlan Voss, there you go. I can't believe I forgot his name. But they go undercover, and he ends up falling in love with Ventress, and I'm not going to go any further because I think y'all should read it because it's actually a really good book. But that was I just wanted to share that while we were on the topic of books.
well, I guess we can go ahead and segue from there into some of those new figures that they've got coming out.
Yes, they at Celebration we got a peek at a Sabine Black figures.
Finally.
Finally, yeah. Qui-Gon Jinn, we're gonna get a Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah.
Black
6
figure.
inch?
Yeah, 6-inch.
Oh, yes.
Lando Calrissian, Cloud City.
Yes.
Well, hello.
there. The Emperor Guards, the red Crayolas looking dudes. Hey Crayola, you and that light bright torch wanna?
And then Melissa, Obi-Wan.
Huh?
They have a new Obi-Wan.
Yeah, Obi-Wan.
Tusken Raider.
Tusken Raiders. That's from that series. We're of course going to get a Rogue One set. I forget the character's name. We're getting the main girl. I guess the Han Solo of this movie.
Han Solo.
Yeah. And those are the only two that I saw. I mean, I kind of just glanced. But we're definitely going to get a Rogue One 6-inch wave.
Is that how we're going to refer to some characters now? Just like, oh, this is the Han Solo of this set.
I mean, might as well, right? Like, Poe Dameron is going to be the new Han Solo since he's, spoiler alert, dead. Yeah. That's how I feel.
Hera.
Yeah, I said Hera. Did I mention Hera?
Hera.
We're getting a Hera too from.
Yeah, that was the Hera, but there's also the one, another one with her and her ship coming out.
Her and the Ghost.
Yep.
Ooh.
Okay. Yes, I just want. We're getting a Darth Raven. Or it's Revan. Revan. My bad. Raven. He looks. He looks pretty sick. Definitely gonna pick him up. That's all the ones that I really saw. And Hasbro was doing this poll right before Celebration where you voted to see, hey, who you wanted to see in the next wave of the Black Series, and we are going to see Jaina Solo, which I kind of find weird because she is now She's a
Some-
legend.
Some
She's-
Legends
Or is she?
content.
She's a legend. You were saying with the Darth Revan, legend.
Yeah.
But so she won. I couldn't find anywhere on their website what other candidates were for voting. You could vote for. But apparently she won, so we're gonna get a Jaina Solo.
That'd be cool. That'd be nice to have.
Any news on it? Are they fixing that Princess Leia? Like the New Hope Princess Leia?
I couldn't tell you. I did not
Good.
see any Princess Leia.
Because they put, I saw a picture of it was Leia from A New Hope, and they put out pictures like earlier this year that looked good, but then they put out pictures at Celebration, and it looked like she like that the decent one that they showed before had gotten into like meth and serious hardcore drugs, and they really need to rework it. and I remember like very quickly Hasbro was quick to say this is not the final thing. This is just a prototype we had in time for Celebration. I'm just like, well, damn, really?
Even for a prototype, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's like Hugo Strange from the Arkham reboot.
Yeah, that's very accurate. It's scary. And the thing is, it's like the previous prototype that they'd shown looked fine. So I'm kind of like, what got screwed up?
Well, we kind of mentioned it earlier this episode, but episode 8 has wrapped filming.
As we discussed earlier, we're talking about how they just recently, Rogue One's coming out, and they just recently wrapped on it, and they had they went back a while back and did the reshoots. So it feels like they have more. Again, I'm letting the negativity
And as always,
on the internet
I'm the
affect
Luke.
me.
I'm the other
But
host.
it feels like
Sherlock
the
Holmes.
studio has
And I'm Lord
a lot
Skywalker.
more faith
With great
in
power
the
comes great responsibility.
episodic films, the 7, 8, 9, like they have that story structure down and they know exactly what they want. That's why it was done at a faster rate. But with Rogue One and this Han Solo standalone, it's a new format, and they want to not make it be like a copy and paste of the regular films, because then they should have just been an episode. So these are it's a whole new thing that no one's experienced. So they're just kind of, as they should be. They're worried. Because fans are very rude on the internet, and
This is true.
it just, from what I see, it just feels like they have a lot more faith in 8 than they did from Rogue when Rogue originally wrapped, because they wanted to go back and do all these reshoots and things.
I'll be frank. I don't like the fact that they're doing a Han Solo like standalone like prequel movie right after, spoilers, they just killed the guy. It's kind of like when in Arkham City when they killed the Joker, and then like a year and a half later Arkham Origins comes out and the Joker's in it. It's almost like, well, we know you're not going to buy it unless this character's in it.
Right.
So it's almost kind of worrying me that they're going in. Like I like from everything I've heard about what they're trying to do with Rogue One, it sounds awesome. It sounds different, and I like that.
Right.
But what I'm concerned about is it's just like, okay, so you've got the like you said, the regular canon that they're focused heavily on. But it's like, are you just going to be like crapping out these like Star Wars story movies? Because if that's the case, if they're bad, I'm not going to go see them. I'll be honest. If it's bad, it's bad. But if they do something good with it, I don't know. I just need to see a little bit more reassurance. I need something from Disney to show that because obviously what bothers me is right before Celebration we had this rumor coming out about reshoots because the studio was heavily disappointed with what Gareth Edwards had. And I kind of would have liked to have seen at least a little bit of clarification. Even if Gareth Edwards said, "Oh, we had to go back and redo an action sequence or something." It's like if there was some clarification on that, because it just seems like we're kind of on an unsteady boat on an unsteady current, and I'm just a little concerned. I'm optimistic, but I'm also a little bit concerned.
While we're on the topic, we mentioned the Han Solo standalone. At Celebration, we got a confirmation of the guy who's going to play the young Han Solo.
Aldine?
Aldine.
Rienrick?
Not even going to try.
Elrich or something?
It
Enric?
sounds German.
Enric, right? Enric? That sounds right.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
We're totally butchering this dude's name. Sorry, bro. But yeah, he was set to play the young Han Solo.
I like him as an actor. I just don't think he looks a thing like Ford.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, it's nothing like Sebastian Saul and Mark Hamill.
That's crazy.
Scary.
Like Disney needs to get on that.
Yeah.
This is
Like there you go. Have a standalone movie with Luke, and then he meets Mara Jade.
No, I do not want that.
All right, well, so stay tuned on our page for more when it comes to Star Wars news, because there's going to be a lot coming at us as we get closer to December. So we've got Rogue One this December, Episode 8 next December. It's exciting. I'm excited. I mean, yes, I've said negative things.
We get Star Wars every year
Yeah.
from here on
I'm
out.
super pumped. It's just more reasons to go broke.
Oh, yeah.
But
Why are
until
you on the
next,
streets?
yeah. Hey, I got these Cinch Black figures for you.
I can't eat for 2 weeks, but it's worth it.
It's like a little Christmas present every year with the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Stick the lightsabers up your nose. Feels real good.
And on that note,
All right. And until next time, I'm the other Luke.
I'm the other host.
I'm Charlotte Colvin.
And I'm Lord Skywalker.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.
Mm.